Let's talk about some first draft targets because although the New Orleans Saints aren't mathematically eliminated from the NFC playoff picture, it's pretty unlikely that they won't make it. So I want to talk about the first round draft, and I'm going to give you my top 8 prospects in the 2024 draft for the New Orleans Saints that they should consider at their current draft pick. But before we get into that, guys, this offseason is going to be huge. So I encourage you to join our family and don't miss out on a thing by hitting that sub button, turning on your notifications, and setting them to all. That way we can reach 25K, and that way you can stay informed and be a smarter Saints fan. But guys, the New Orleans Saints are currently slotted to draft at pick number 11. That's per Tankathon. The Atlanta Falcons will be drafting at number 10 per Tankathon, so that's something to monitor and something to note. So let's just dive into the positions that I want to target. I got 5 positions. Obviously, there's a handful of needs. There's a lot of needs, but you have very limited draft picks, and there's 5 big-time needs. You guys are going to hate that quarterback's number 5 for me, but offensive line is my number 1. You got to improve the trenches. You got to get better on both sides of the ball in the trenches. Linebacker, very important. You got Demario Davis getting older. Zach Bond finally starting to be used as a rusher, not as much as a coverage guy, but I think you need somebody who can rush and play in coverage. Wide receiver, I'm an advocate. Every single draft, you should take at least one wide receiver. And then, of course, quarterback, because I want to draft for the future. I'm not sure how long Jake Haener has in New Orleans. And also, you're telling me if you can go get a guy like Jayden Daniels over Jake Haener, you wouldn't do that? Come on now. But, guys, today's video is sponsored by PrizePicks, so thank you to PrizePicks for making today's video possible. And I'm going to have all the information in the comment section and description of this video because I love y'all and because you're my best friends. But PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. You just pick 2 to 6 players, go more or less based on the numerical projected stat, and voila, you can go win some money. So we've done NFL, we've done NBA, but I want to do college football because I'm a college football guy. So I'm going to go with the less on Michael Penix passing yards. He's projected at 307.5. I think that's pretty high, and I think that Texas is going to give them a run for their money, but I don't know if Michael Penix will be able to throw for 308 yards. Jalen Milroe. My girlfriend's going to love this pick. She's an Alabama fan. I'm taking the more on his passing yards. I think that the Michigan defense hasn't played a good football team all season. They haven't played anybody worth a damn. So I'm going to take Alabama and Nick Saban's offense over a Michigan defense that has collapsed every year that they've been in the college football playoff. And then Adonai Mitchell, he's the touchdown guy. You're telling me that he just has to get one and I can win money? Heck yeah, let's go and run that. Let's go. So PrizePicks is so fun. It's daily fantasy sports, and you guys can get started with an $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Plug in promo code CLNS. PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. Like I said, all that information in the comment section description of this video. All right, let's just dive into it. No more fugazis, no more nonsense. I want to start in the trenches here. Joe Alt is a very intriguing name. A big-time, very large, very strong, talented, NFL-ready offensive tackle that could be a huge help to this Saints offensive line that, quite frankly, is horrible. Same thing goes for J.C. Latham. He is also a very talented football player. Alabama seems to put out a lot of good offensive linemen, and I think that J.C. Latham could be a great one. Trevor Penning hasn't been a starter. He got benched. Andrus Peat, who's a guard, is now starting at tackle. Things are not going well. Ryan Ramczyk's getting old. He's starting to have some injuries kind of pile in and whatnot. So I want to see this offensive line get younger, more athletic, a little bit cheaper to be quite honest as well. But here are the stats and the measurables for both of these players side by side. Joe Alt at 6'8", 315 pounds, has an 86.7 PFF run blocking grade, a 91.2 PFF pass blocking grade, and an overall grade of 90.8. J.C. Latham of the Alabama Crimson Tide, he's checking in at 6'6", 360 pounds. That run blocking grade, is at 78.0. The pass blocking grade, 82.4, and the overall PFF grade, 10 points less than Joe Alt, but still pretty solid at 80.8. I think either of these two guys would be a massive improvement to this offensive line and add a lot of help. Jared Verse, maybe one of my sneaky favorite draft targets here. This guy is crazy. He is a very talented football player, and he is a lot of fun to watch. For the Florida State Seminoles, he has been stellar. He has put up crazy numbers. This season alone, 41 tackles, 9 sacks, 12.5 tackles for loss, 3 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Look at the bend on this guy. He is strong. He is powerful. He's physical. He's athletic. He can beat you by getting on the outside. He can beat you by bull rushing right through you. He is a good football player. And quite frankly, Cameron Jordan is not getting any younger. His production's not getting any better. And I love Wham Bam, thank you, Cam, but I'm going to need to get a little bit younger. I know that the Saints drafted Isaiah Foskey in the second round last year, but you really don't want more depth on that edge rusher position. But guys, if you want the New Orleans Saints to have a good offseason, earlier I was saying this is a very important offseason. This offseason could make or break the franchise over the next handful of years. So if you want them to have a successful offseason, if you want them to do everything that they need to do to right the ship, I need you to hit the thumbs up icon, like this video. Don't jinx it, because we know Dennis Allen is very capable of making another mistake. All right, so another linebacker that I want to talk about, a defensive just standout, Edgerrin Cooper. He was highly touted coming out of high school. I believe he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. And, man, he put up some good numbers at A&M in 4 years. He did some great things. His freshman year, he didn't play too much. His sophomore year, though, he started really kind of finding his groove. And I guess his redshirt freshman year, he started finding his groove with 5.5 sacks. His sophomore year, 8 sacks. And this year, you see it on your screen, he had 8 sacks as well. He is 17 sacks, excuse me. He had 17, check that, I'm reading the stats wrong. 17 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 2 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, 0 interceptions. And the best thing about him is he can go and rush the quarterback, but he can also drop back in coverage. You see the PFF numbers at the bottom right of your screen. He is pretty good there as well. I want to see this player do some good things for the New Orleans Saints, because Demario Davis, I love you, man, but getting kind of old as well. So we're going to go 2 quarterbacks right here. We're going to break the rules. We're not going 1 by 1. We're going 2 for right here. Jayden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr. Man, I would love either one of these guys. And I'll even throw in a wild card. Shedeur Sanders would be pretty fun, purely because I met him in Mexico, and that'd be cool to have that story forever. But these 2 guys are insane. We're going to get to see Michael Penix Jr. up against the Texas Longhorns in the Sugar Bowl at the Caesars Superdome, funny enough. And Jayden Daniels, we saw a lot of him in the boot this year. He is an incredibly talented football player. The numbers side by side, you see the passing yards, that favors Michael Penix, but something that Penix doesn't have is Jayden Daniels' legs. And he can run the ball. He had over 1,000 yards on the ground, 10 touchdowns on the ground. He is an electric football player. Michael Penix, also a very good football player. I think if you go and get either one of these 2 guys, you can call that a good draft selection. So I will say this, we all want a quarterback. We all want Jayden Daniels. That's the obvious thing here. That's the shiny toy. It's the Porsche. That's the brand new diamond earrings that you're getting your girlfriend. That is what we want. We want Jayden Daniels. It's a sexy pick. It's a lot of fun. It'll add youth, excitement, and energy to this offense, and it'll give this team a new identity. But don't forget, this is a Dennis Allen-led team. Right now, it is, but don't forget that it is a Dennis Allen-led team. He handpicked Derek Carr. I don't see them going and drafting a quarterback in the first round at all, to be quite honest. And I hate that that isn't the case. I hate that the Saints won't at least they won't try, but Dennis Allen is such a stubborn mule, and he is such an idiot that he is a guy who is going to live and die by his own decision, and it does not matter what the decision is. He is going to do what he is going to do. Disregard what the fans want. Disregard what sells tickets. So I want Dennis Allen to be fired. I'm not necessarily sure he will be fired, but I don't know if a quarterback is going to be picked. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Just don't shoot the messenger on that one. But what position should the New Orleans Saints draft? I need you to tell me. I need you on the couch, sitting at work, sitting on the toilet, wherever you're watching this video. I need you to just get in the comment section and share your thoughts. What position do you think that New Orleans should go and draft in round 1? All right. I think that this could actually be a pretty intriguing pick. Laitu Latu, dude, this guy is a freak of nature. This past season, he had 49 total tackles, 2 pass breakups, 13 sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions. This guy is very good at football. You want to know what's crazy? Last year, look at these numbers. Listen to this. 36 tackles, 1 pass breakup, 10.5 sacks. 10.5 sacks. So in 2 years, that is 23.5 sacks. Unbelievable. He also had 3 forced fumbles back in 2022. I'm going to let the numbers, I'm going to let the tape do the talking. Laitu Latu would be awesome in this linebacker group. And I do think that Dennis Allen, he's not necessarily the best coach, but he does know how to get a lot out of his linebacker, so credit where it's due there. Latu could be awesome in a black and gold uniform. And I think that him in the dome could make a lot of noise. Last guy I want to talk about is Keon Coleman, the wide receiver out of Florida State. Man, he is a really good football player, and he is a lot of fun to watch. 50 receptions, 658 yards, 11 touchdowns. He had 13.2 yards per tote. Transferred from Michigan last offseason from Michigan State, and with the Spartans, he put up 58 catches, 798 yards, 13.8 yards per catch, 7 touchdowns in 2022. He is from Opelousas, Louisiana, so that would be kind of cool to have a homecoming. And I will also just going to go ahead and show you guys all 8 of these picks just so you guys can see them and so you guys we can all be on the same page here. Joe Alt, J.C. Latham, Jared Verse, Edgerrin Cooper, Jayden Daniels, Michael Penix, Laitu Latu, Keon Coleman, all 3 of these, or any of these guys, I think is the correct pick in the first round. One more thing about Keon Coleman, jump ball specialist. He can climb the ladder at 6'4", 215 pounds. He could be a great addition to this wide receiver group. Honorable mention, though, I'm not going to say Malik Neighbors because we've talked about him in the past, and I'm trying to keep things different. I don't want to just do Jayden Daniels and Malik Neighbors every single time. I know that's what you guys want to do, but at the end of the day, I'm the one running the show. So I want to talk about another football player, and that is the touchdown king of the University of Texas, Adonai Mitchell. AD, 51 receptions, 813 yards, 10 touchdowns, and almost 16 yards per catch. And fun fact, here's a chat stat from our guy, Producer Coop, the in-house Texas Longhorn fan. He said that he's played in 4 different CFP bowl games, and he has caught a touchdown in every single one of those. Knows how to make plays when the lights are pretty bright. So I think that that's something the Saints should at least go and consider, and the Saints should go and bring him in and see what he can do, at least in an interview or at least in a workout. But let me know, guys, who is your guy? Who do you think that the New Orleans Saints should draft in round 1 of the 2024 NFL Draft? I need you to be the GM, get in the comment section, and let me know. And as always, Saints fans, I do appreciate every single one of you for hanging out with us. I encourage you to subscribe. I encourage you to turn on your notifications. And I encourage you to not give up on this team because we're still going to be giving you guys great coverage despite what this football team does. So everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.